And here we go. We are live. Hello, hello, everybody. Little do a lot of people know that when you're on live, it's a delay until you guys can see us. And so here we are. And they haven't come in yet, but there are a whole bunch of folks here. And I'm going
I
to say
hope so.
hi to everybody. Yeah, we got Froxy Roxy. We got Claudia, Cat
Mm-hmm.
Mama. We have Teresa Hadarian, Book Bewitched. And look at this. It's funny. Strange not seeing you. She meant as a moderator in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I learned it
yeah.
all
You're
from
not.
Karen
Yeah,
and
yeah. Uh
Patricia.
huh. Uh huh. And Jeff is here. Carol ask backwards words. Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for all your love and support. I had a great show last night with Linda and Mel, and then I had a lot of people congratulating me on my third year. Now I'm going into the fourth year. I can't believe that already is going. It's amazing. And so many of you have been here from the beginning or very close to the beginning. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. So let's see. Jeff is here and Ginny and Lorraine and Rossi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. And if you have not yet seen Mr. Craig Dixon on here before, you're in for a treat because he brings along Clara with him everywhere he goes.
That's her
And
picture.
her pictures are over his right shoulder. Yeah,
These,
yeah.
that's on top of that. Those are Elvis Presley records right there.
Okay,
That's
okay.
a sombrero, and that's a cowboy hat over there on top of the globe.
Uh-huh. Very nice. Very
I saw someone
nice.
do that on another chat. So
Uh-huh. Very nice. Yes. Thank you so much, Book. It was fun. Linda and Mel have a lot of sense of humor, so I love working with them because we just, and the hard part was we were talking over each other because we're all excited, but at the same time there's a delay sometimes on
Mhm.
the when you're doing it. So isn't wasn't intentional. Hi T Barb, it's good to see you.
And then the
And
jokes
Teresa.
come fast too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Teresa Baltazar is here. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for being here. It's so nice to see you. So before Craig and I get into his wonderful trip and a lot of things that he would like to share, when he told me about going, one of the first things I told him was, let's do a live from Bryce Canyon. But as you will find out as we continue on, Craig got interrupted in the middle of his trip,
Yeah,
which he'll explain. Yeah, you will.
that too, and then internet wasn't very good over there either.
Oh, it wasn't. Yeah,
No,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't.
that good in Sedona either when I was there. You had to go to a
Yeah,
certain place, and yeah,
yeah.
I get
Kelly
it.
Scarborough had been overcome with energy
Oh,
right after breakfast, and
uh
yeah,
huh.
she had overcome with a little energy there. And what had happened was it was a little bit overwhelming, so I was concerned about her. So she, we exchanged numbers, herself
Yeah.
and Mary Weatherhead and the people that were sitting at our table.
Mm-hmm.
So I called her back about right after that to make sure she got to her room okay. If not, then I'd go by and see, with a friend of mine to make sure she was okay. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
she got back okay, back to her room and all that. But the thing is, I got the message like 6 hours later.
Oh
That's
no.
how bad.
Oh
That's how bad the internet
jeez.
is for that stuff.
If
Uh,
she had an emergency, you'd never know.
no, you
Jeez,
would never
that's
know.
awful. Yeah,
No.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, going up there first is the money. It's expensive. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is.
It
I'm not
is.
going to lie, it is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on Social Security like everybody else is. I'm also a military retiree, so that's where I get my most of my money from. And then I
Mm-hmm.
do draw a small pension from the VA too for being
Mm-hmm.
being disabled. So those
Right.
are my sources of income. I don't do any reads right now. That probably will come in the future, but it depends on Clara.
Sure.
She doesn't really want me being beat up by people on the internet. She says they can
Uh,
be really, really
some
mean
can.
people.
Yeah, some
So
can.
I hate it when that happens to you. She goes, I love you and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see that happen. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, I like it when 90-year-old men say nasty things about you. I want to slap them in the side of the head, but it's not cool being an old man.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
get it.
it's an old friend I have that acts up once in a
Uh-huh.
while. He says some pretty catty remarks. So I don't go by his house anymore. I don't go talk to him anymore
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because
Yeah, that was a bit much. Well, that
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
Now it's in the ball's in his court. I told him what I
Sure.
expected. He violated it 4 times. He
Uh-huh.
goes, I know, you told me 4 times, and I go, where's the learning disability? I go, it's not me. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you're almost 3 times my age. You should know better. So cut it out.
Yes.
And I just left there, and I never went back. So I think
Well,
I'm better off.
there are some people you can tell them over and over again, as we well know,
Mhm.
to be quiet, or they'll have a gag order, and
Yeah.
they still do it. So he isn't
Mhm.
alone. That's all.
Isn't allowed. And age doesn't. It's not one of those things that get you off magically.
Yeah.
By our age, we should have wisdom and we should know, but he
Yeah.
didn't. So he's out of my life.
Yeah.
And then
There are
now,
people like that. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So you have to get the money ready. You have to get all that stuff ready. And
Hmm.
oh, oh,
See, we got your back here. Yeah.
yeah, you have to get your money situated and stuff like that. And luckily they did it in increments, so it wasn't too painful. So you
Right.
paid like 750 down, then another
Right.
750
That's
down.
what they did in Sedona too. Yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if spirit is everywhere, why can't we do this on the Navajo reservation? There's Canyon de Chelly out there. It's
I
cheaper,
love
about
Canyon de
half,
Chelly.
probably
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
half. You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there is Gallup, New Mexico, which has a lot of red mesas around there, some old
Yes, they
timey
do.
things, and
Hmm.
it's a lot cheaper too. I mean,
Sure.
we could be put
Right.
at the El Rancho Hotel. They have conference rooms there, and they'd love a
Yep.
place like that. So. But those are things to think about. I haven't suggested
Think
them to
about for next time. Yeah.
yeah, next
Yeah.
time.
I've been to Canyon de Chelly and I love it. And I feel really badly about all the dogs because they have a lot of wild dogs there.
Yeah, you
But I
do. Yeah,
also understand that that's how they do things there. You don't
right.
bother the wild dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
bother them because if you feel sorry for them and hand them like your bones from your chicken or something like that you just ate, they're going to come by and take off your leg.
That's
They're
true.
that vicious. They're that vicious. When your back is turned or something, they'll come by and grab your finger. So don't do it.
Uh-huh.
Be
Yeah.
nice, but
That's
don't be
true.
too nice.
Be nice, but don't be too nice. So Linda's right. 45 is proof that fools don't age well. Amen. I
Well,
remember reading a book actually by a guru named Osho, who he was an Indian mystic, and it was a book about maturity. And it said it doesn't matter how old you are, you could still you could be 95 years old and still be a kid, and
yeah,
come off that way, and not in a
in a
good
good
way, kid.
yeah,
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 not in a,
good way or
no,
bad
not,
way. So,
yeah, yeah.
I get the money out of the way, and then there's incidentals you have to buy too. Because you might bring a credit
Sure.
card, do all those things, bring cash too. Because when
Mhm.
you get there are
Yeah.
things you're going to want to buy. And when you get to
True.
Bryce Canyon, there are no grocery stores there. It's a tourist city.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to
so
bring in
stop at
what it is you want. True. Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true.
bring a cooler,
Yeah.
go stop at Page, and that's
Yeah.
south. That's how I came southbound, and stop at their Walmart, their grocery store there. Their
There you go.
Safeway, and grab whatever
Yep.
you want for dinner that night because it's going to
Mhm.
be expensive. I'd rather
Yeah, it
pay
is.
5 for a sandwich at Safeway and be happy, you know, than pay $50 for food that I'm not even quite sure I'm going to finish, at the restaurant,
Mhm.
and be pressured to get to the
Mhm.
meeting in a hurry. So it
Sure.
just didn't work out. So, I did it
Sure.
my way and I was happier. So
Sure.
I get up there with
Understood.
all my stuff. I
Well,
bring my
let's
cat.
talk first. If it's all right with you, I'd like to talk about you stopped at your uncle's house. I'd like to start
Yes,
there if
yes.
that's okay.
Oh,
So
oh,
let's
good,
start
good.
there. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
got both. I got both cars up and ready. The truck and the car in case it started snowing on me all of a sudden.
mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but luckily it was going to be clear weather all the way. And then I'm skeptical. I don't always listen to mediums. Kim says it's going to be
Yeah.
perfect weather, and it was, except for being
Yeah.
cold. And
Yeah.
but cars had no problems getting up there, so we went up there
Good.
and I stopped at my uncle's place. That's about halfway. You get through the Navajo reservation. It's right over the border of New Mexico from Albuquerque. And as you're
Okay.
going up Gallup and going north, it's called place called Window Rock, Arizona. That's when you get into the reservation. Your internet works
Mhm.
fine there. Your maps, your Google, all that stuff works fine. I'm looking at on a map like that. I go, I'm going to lose it in a little while. So I pulled over to the side of the road, took screenshots of the map I was going to take, the route, and then I had
Oh, that's
that
a
in
good
there.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I had already on my iPad, and then just
Uh-huh.
navigated up through there. But I stopped at my uncle's house that night, and I told him what I was going to do, and can I stay here in the
Mhm.
Hogan for the night? And a Hogan is just an it's a log cabin with 8 sides and a
Okay.
smokestack up with a potbelly stove in the middle, and it's very very humble dirt floor, and
Yeah.
and roll out
Yeah.
the bed. If you have a bedroll, or there's if they have any furniture, you sleep on the bed. And I wanted to do that for a couple of reasons because it made me more in touch with my mom. I felt like she was with me again.
There you go. So it's your
But
mom's brother. Is that
yeah,
is that who
yeah,
it? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Mhm.
and every time I went for ceremonies out there, my mom and I would stay in the hogan. And but I'd have to
Sure.
get up because Craig, it's time. It's what, 3 o'clock? Okay, let's go to the outhouse. So let's
Yeah.
put the flashlight and look out there because there might be coyotes and out there,
Yeah.
bobcats
Yeah.
or something. So
Right.
and then you go out there and do your business and come back. But it's
Right.
cold, it's hot. Whatever the weather it is, that's what
Yeah.
you
There's no
know.
AC or heat. Yeah. I
No,
get
none
you.
of that. So, but I did
Uh-huh.
have my radio, and I was listening to KFI out of Los Angeles or 1070 out of Los Angeles, and that's where I can pick up the West Coast a little bit better. So I'm listening to all
Hmm.
these things, and I'm listening to stuff like big pileup on the 5 and a little bit fire burning on the I-10 and going down south up to the button. Wow, okay, all right, I'm waking up now. I guess I'm back in Los Angeles in a way. So
Uh-huh.
about
Uh-huh.
2 o'clock in the morning, I throw some more wood in the fire and get that going. And he does a clearing ceremony for the night before.
Hmm.
And a clearing ceremony, what that does is he goes there with he starts a fire and then he sets crystals out north, east, south, and west, and then one
Hmm.
back here. And then you put money
Okay.
offering in there, if you wish to pay. His offering is always whatever you can pay me. I'm
Sure.
not greedy,
Sure.
whatever you can pay me. And I give him
Hmm.
like, $100, and I bring up some food from Albuquerque. I stop at the commissary and get him some stuff at the base, and
Sure.
they could really use it out in the res. So I
Hmm.
do that. Just sit and talk about a few things, and then he looks in the crystal, and then he invokes the prayers, and then through the crystal it tells him what my ailment is, and then
Hmm.
he removes it, and that's the first half of the ceremony. He removes all the sicknesses and stuff like that, and then
Okay.
when they take something out of you spiritually like that, you have to wait a day. You have to wait a day and not do anything. Don't shake hands. Don't hug somebody. Don't. This is delicate, kind of. Don't sleep with your wife. Go sleep in the other bed in
Oh,
the other for one night,
okay. Just be
and
celibate one night. Okay. I
for that
get you.
one
Yeah.
night, keep your
Hmm.
blessings to yourself. Keep it holy.
Hmm. Nothing
You know,
wrong with that. Yep.
stay in grace, in a state of grace. The next
Right.
morning, as soon as the sun comes up and the sun hits you, then you can shower, you can dress, you can hug your wife, you can pat your kids on the head, you can do all that
Sure.
stuff. You can interact with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Everything comes back again. So it's that one day, where you're in a blackout.
Sure. Nothing
So
wrong
I
with
had to
that.
look for that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he cleared up some stuff there, and I started
Good.
feeling better again. When I'm feeling
Mhm.
better after some ceremony, then I'm singing with my songs on the radio, and I'm
Oh,
having,
yeah. You're
know,
lighter. Yeah,
I'm
you're
lighter, I'm
lighter.
lighter, I feel
Sure.
better.
Yeah.
So I anticipated that going in, and then right at 7 o'clock in the morning, my uncle comes by. Hey man, it's breakfast. Let's go and eat. Oh,
Ooh.
okay. So I go back over to the
Uh-huh.
trailer, or it's a hogan and a trailer and an outhouse in
Mhm.
between. So we go over
Right.
there, and then there's a couple of trucks parked outside, and we go inside into the house, and then my aunt's there cooking all sorts of stuff, and then she feeds me, and my mom's been gone for a while. And, my belly takes the best of me. So, all right, what do you got? So I got like a 4 course meal in front of me, and then she's bringing out fried bread
Oh.
and all this stuff like that. Fried
Yeah,
bread, if
well,
you don't,
the elders, it's the elders, it's the connection with your mom and that you've been there with her before too. That
yeah,
has to come into play. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then since my mom is gone, I don't really hear Navajo in the house anymore, and I don't hear
Uh-huh.
Spanish so much either. Because she could do both. But
Wow.
but it hurts. So I have to get
Yeah,
my
it
Spanish from, other sources, or I have to get my native from TV or something like that. Like Dark
uh-huh.
Winds show on AMC. I get it from there, and I feel a little bit better. Or I'll turn on Navajo Hour on the radio here in Albuquerque and listen to that for a little while, and it reminds me of my mom. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I spend a little time with my uncle and aunt. Eat and talk a little bit, bring them up to date with a few things, exchange pictures back and forth, and then they say everything's going to go okay. So
Okay.
I take off again, and
Mhm.
I'm going through cold area and stuff like that, and it's getting colder and nastier. And I'm following my map. There's you go from 5G in Albuquerque, you get to
Yeah.
Gallup, it's LTE, which is 4G,
Yep.
and then you
Yep.
get to to Window
Goes
Rock, and
down, down, down.
it goes down to 1G or whatever it is, or on the
Yes.
reservation it's smoke signals or something. When you get out to the other end of the reservation at Page as you're coming back out of Utah, then your stuff starts coming back alive again, and it's a
Oh,
gradual.
yeah, you're getting all these messages and things like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
I get
okay. I
it.
can't, I can't do anything because I'm driving. I wish I had a co-pilot,
Right.
and as I'm driving, I'm also talking to Clara too. I go, well,
Sure.
keep me awake here, honey. Tell me what's going on. Give me some feelings here. Give me a little bit of feedback, and
Mhm.
get up the page, and loving this place, and it's warm, it's nice, and stopping at the tourist places, gas up again, and take off, and then stop and get some coffee at McDonald's. Where the coffee's
Uh-huh.
always, and then take off again. Get out, walk around a little bit, go use the restroom, and kick the tires and get back in the car and take off again.
Sure.
And then the last leg of that was from
She says, don't lose your voice, meaning she wants you to maintain the language as much of it as you can do, because that's
I'll
part of
try,
you.
I'll
Yeah,
try,
that's part of your culture. Yeah.
I'll
All
try.
right. Yeah.
And but then we'll talk about that sometime in the future. But when we got to Bryce Canyon, we checked in. I left at 10 o'clock at the reservation that morning at my uncle's house in Chinle, Arizona, and I got up to Page about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I got
Yeah.
up to Bryce Canyon. As you're going up that road 89 and then 12, that
Right.
is
It's pretty windy. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
beautiful area. These
Oh, it
they call
it
them
is.
hoodoos, and they come out of the ground like that, and they're all
Yeah.
orange, and they look like upside down stalagmites, that stick out of the
I
out
know.
of
So
the
you've
top of.
never been there before.
I
Is that
never been,
right? Okay.
and the orange color. We have red in Gallup, red rocks,
Mm-hmm.
red
Mm-hmm.
in Colorado, red rocks. I've seen those, but this was
Yep.
orange. I mean, if Donald Trump went
Yep.
over there naked, he would disappear.
He'd fit right in. We
Yeah,
wouldn't want him to stink up the place, though. So.
yeah, you wouldn't want to, but that's how orangey it
Uh-huh.
was. Beautiful there. I wanted to get out and spend some time with that, but you're on a time constraint. You don't have the time. You don't know. You got to get where you're supposed to get.
Right.
And so I get into the hotel about 4:30, and I go, man, I think I got here at the right time. I'm still kind of feeling jittery from the drive. I step out, and oh my God, it's like 30, 25 degrees, and I'm freezing already. It's cold. So I grab my skin coat, put that on, my cowboy hat, and I go inside, And I go inside and I go, man, this place is built like a cabin here. It's like a big place. It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Milo goes, I see a big place, a hotel made out of wood. And he was right. I go, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, he was
Yeah.
right. This place is made out of wood, and you go in there,
Sure.
and then the people all check you in. They treat you nice. And I had some comedian there, says, you guys are going to be put up in the Antelope place, all your group, the Antelope
Oh.
building. And that was
Okay.
way on the other end. And then he gave me
Oh.
a map how to get there. You know how hotels do. And then, all right, I'm looking at this and I go, why do I got to walk around that? Why do I got to? And I asked the young lady there. She was also Native American. I go, do I have to walk this way to get there? She goes, no, just go right through this. Go straight down this hallway right there. Come up by and then you're right in front of your room. Don't go outside.
Okay.
Trees, goes like that. So I go,
Uh-huh.
okay, thank you. So I listened to her, and when there, I'm one of those men that ask locals where things are. I don't try to pride it out, and I've tried that, and you get lost.
Yeah.
So I got to my room, and then deplaned. I took everything out of the car. I took everything.
Sure.
Man, these type of clothes, driving clothes, and comfortable clothes and all that stuff like that. Native blankets, the electronics in a separate bag. I carried all that stuff in, and I put Clara's picture right by the bed.
Oh.
I put my shortwave radio there. I settled back for a couple of minutes. I go, I guess I got a few minutes to where I can relax a little bit before the festivities start, because they're telling us we're on our own for dinner. So I opened up my cooler and got my sandwich out from Safeway and ate that. I'm not going to go down there and try,
You're
spend
like a Boy Scout. Honest to God, you just come prepared.
Yeah, I bring MREs in my trunk too, from the military. If you're stuck. So
yeah,
I'm going to spend $5 for a sandwich and maybe $1 for a Coke instead of spending $50 for food.
Oh no, I'm just teasing. I think it's great.
I'm going to do that. Now, if
Yeah.
it's somebody that yeah, okay, that's understandable. A friend of mine,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can be
Yeah.
hard on myself, and I can be generous to my friends. So I wait for the appointed time, and then go down there, and then we don't know because you don't know anybody. We don't. I mean, I don't know what any of these folks look like. I don't,
Well,
except for
no,
what
but you knew you could see tell the readers, couldn't you?
we didn't see them. We didn't see them.
Oh, you didn't
No,
see them. Okay, I get you. Okay.
you didn't see
Yep.
them. I think, and even Linda G filled that in later on because she said she came down there like 2 days earlier.
Uh-huh.
And that was a
Yeah.
comedy of errors for her because she went to this little place that was an airport. Because when I was driving up there, I saw this little tiny building off to the side. It looked like a log cabin, and there was a
Uh-huh.
light strip by it, and the little Cessna planes outside. And I go, "That's the airport." I go,
Oh my
"That's
God.
code for like 1949." I go, "Man, I don't know, man."
They got a guy out there, to push down on the prop. So
Going like this too with a flashlight. That's
yes.
probably what it was like. And that's where
Uh-huh.
she came in at. I think because it's like maybe about 5 miles before I got into Bryce Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, I filed it away, and I go, okay. And then later on, she mentioned it. So she came in like a day earlier. There was nobody
Yeah.
to drive her to the hotel,
Oh,
and
and there's
she
no
had to
Ubers out there either.
no. So she had to hire somebody to do that. And she goes, it cost me $300 to get from where I was to where the hotel was. And I go,
Oh my
shoot,
God.
Linda, had I known that, I would have came and got you for nothing. All you
I
have to do is
know.
put up
Oh,
for about an hour. I mean, a half
wow.
hour. She'll be telling
Uh-huh.
you stuff. But
Mhm.
but the funny part was, this all happened like a couple days before. And then she said when she was there at the hotel, she tried to get a room and it was so booked up she couldn't get in. And she
Oh,
goes, and she goes, I couldn't get in that hotel. So what I did was I checked another hotel in the area and then they had enough people. So I got another ride over there to get into the secondary hotel. And then they took me. She goes, that was, I got in there, but she goes, it was a pain. And then she
oh
goes,
yeah, comedy of errors, really. Yeah.
right. What they
My
should have done
goodness.
was, since they were going to have meters like that and people that were talking presenters, they should have had
Right.
somebody look out for them, a concierge,
Absolutely. Yeah.
somebody look out for them. But they didn't
Yeah.
do that. And in Linda's G, you never do that to somebody like her because you want her to come back to the next one.
Sure, of course. And Book Bewitched said she too has a crazy story. Probably continues. Leave it to Linda, though. I tell you, even when
Oh,
we
wait.
were in Sedona, she had a lot of things that were going on that I don't know how she can handle doing all the stuff she does, you know.
Mhm.
But I didn't have any idea that it was that much of a mess with her
It
transportation.
is.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is.
Okay.
And then she said that
Yeah.
that shuttle that came and got her in was old and dirty and it smelled. And the guy was telling her about his 9 wives and things like that. It was kind of funny. Like yeah,
Oh
they're
God.
like that there. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
so that's what it was like. So she
Okay.
just didn't pass any judgment and got away from him, and
Yeah.
got back to her room and stuff like that when she settled in. And then she goes about a
Hmm.
day later, everybody started showing up. So
Hmm.
Kim and Debbie and all them were already there by the time I
Right.
got there. So
Right.
they were timed a little bit earlier than we were, but I didn't know where the presenters were. I went back down to the hotel main and sat there looking around, like, kind of
Like, who do
suspicious,
I recognize? Yeah. Yeah.
like
Mhm.
looking around like in a like a Humphrey Bogart movie. Am I looking
Sure.
for who? Who am I looking for here? Do I recognize anybody? But I don't.
Mhm.
So
Right.
go back up to the counter and I asked him, and he says, "Oh, follow that lady in the black dress." And I go, "Okay." So I followed the lady in the black dress, and it was Kim's relative, the
Oh, okay.
Julie Jolly, the
Mhm.
lady that was
Okay.
putting on the thing. So I go,
Yep.
"Okay, you need any help setting up with your shindig?" I said, and then she says, "Oh no, everything's already set up." And I go, "Ah, it's just the Boy Scout and me, and I feel like helping." I go, what do you need done? And she goes, and who is it? What do you need done, and who do you need it done to? And then, no,
Yeah.
no, just getting sit down with her. The presenters will have that table up in the front. This is what's going to happen, and then
This
they
is
all
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all started coming in, and then you know, you see, they didn't put our name. They put here. I'll get one.
Where did he go?
Yeah, the name tags were like this,
Oh, yeah. That's cute.
and
Okay.
that's not bad,
Good.
but it doesn't say your screen name on there,
Oh, well, that's very true.
right?
Yeah.
So
Did they
nobody
have
knows.
the picture of Clara on there, or is that something you put
No,
on there?
I put that on there.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then, and what had happened was we know nobody knew each other. You didn't know each other by that.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the only thing was, we got there, we started slowly learning each other, and
Hmm.
then Linda G came up and she started giving her talk. And
Yeah.
when she was up there giving us her talk, she talked about all this and generally funny Linda stuff, and then she was
Yes. She's very
stick,
funny. Yeah.
yeah, so stick with your gift, and kind of an opener, and I thought she was going to be there for a couple more dates, but no, she left early,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but before she left, she got us together for a thing where she called out the aliens, at the canyon. So we
Yeah.
went there right after that. It was We had a little bit to eat, and then we took off again. Some small snacks in there. They had cookies and things like that
Uh-huh.
in there. So we went from there over to the canyon, and we drove up there, and we were cold. It was still, I mean, it was like 9 degrees outside. You could feel that wind coming in, But
Yeah.
when you take a picture with a phone, you know,
Right.
you can see
That's
it
what
on
we
your
did in
phone,
Sedona. Yep.
but you can
Yep.
see it with your eyes. So that's
Right.
how it is. So Linda G
So it's
started
very
calling.
dark out there, is what you're saying. It was
It's
completely
very
dark,
dark.
and you were okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's dark and it's scary. Hang on to the somebody, or hang on to the guardrails and things like that. So
Yeah.
you don't want to
Yeah.
fall down in something and not be found.
Sure.
So you take your pictures, and everybody's like wowing and oohing and stuff like that, especially Kevin. And then we got
Yeah.
back in our cars and we made it back. And I go,
Yeah.
I got to get to Clara. I got to get some sleep. So I went back and turned in for the night. I'm
Hmm.
typically your 50-year-old man going to sleep. So I'm going to bed, and then having getting showered and getting my clothes ready and ironing and pressing things. I'm ex-military. That's what we do.
Hmm.
Make
Hmm.
sure my shoes are shined and put those in order. And as the night's calming down for the night, as we got settled into the rooms, I thought it was going to be like a typical hotel. You walk in there, it's going to be ice cold like an ice box. Nope. They
Oh.
had everything at 70 degrees in there, man. It was
Oh,
nice.
excellent.
You walk
That's
right in
excellent.
there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
going fire.
They know it's chilly at night. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got in
Yeah.
there. Everything was fine. And then when I was carrying my stuff in earlier in the day, Tuta was going around with the drum and beating that doom 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 doom, or walking around the Antelope building,
Uh-huh.
doing the drum. And I go, oh, that takes me back. But with Tuta's drum, it looked like a tambourine. It looked like a tambourine with the skin on it, and she was doom 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 like that with it. But with the Navajos, our drums tend to look like a bowl with
Hmm.
a piece of leather thong, or a leather on the top of it.
Hmm.
You fill the
Yep.
bowl up with water, depending on how deep, or how much of a tone you want out of it. Then you tie the
Hmm.
bottom of the leather with leather thongs.
Right.
You roll the drum over a few times and get that liquid on top of the leather to soak it. Then you
Yep.
get this drumstick that looks like a stick with a ball on it, like a fuzzy ball on it.
Right.
It doesn't look like
Yep.
a Ringo Starr drumstick. It looks like that. And then
Right.
that's how you do the drumming. And wow. But it gives a
You
different
got to
tone off.
make one. You got to go to a drum class and make one. You got to. Yeah.
I'll talk to my uncle.
Mhm.
Oh, we'll get
Okay.
together on we'll do
Good.
something.
I
But
think you'd be great at it. Yeah, I really do.
yeah, and then they have flutes and things like that in our tribe too.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I don't want to get into that just yet. You got to hit,
I
you got to
understand.
right,
Okay.
you got to really know what you're doing there. You
Sure.
hit a few characters in there. Another
Hmm.
Navajo will pick up on it real quick.
Yeah.
In Hollywood you can get away with it, but not there.
Well, I know. I have a drum though, and I love it.
No.
I've used it in ceremony, and it's just it really adds to it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
And
great.
she was doing that, and then it calmed down the energy, made us feel better, and then we just went to sleep
Yeah,
like 14 that night. The
it's
next
like a
morning,
heartbeat. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it
Hmm.
brought everything down. And I wasn't so flustered anymore. And when we went to the classes, they started at 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock in the morning, we got down there, the same classroom, and it had been everything. All the chairs had been moved over, so they were doing yoga. And I
Oh,
go, okay, well, I'm open to that, because ex Air
all
Force, you
right.
exercise. You're supposed to exercise every morning. Walk, run, do all
Right.
these things like
And you're
that.
in a
But it was
beautiful place. Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
A bunch of ladies there too, so they had a lot of support. And they were
Good.
happy to sit there. We signed in, and we did our we did our stretching and things like that, and that felt good. And I
Hmm.
go. man, I got to do more of this because that and Tai Chi keep me running, and I
Oh, I
do my
love Tai Chi. Hmm.
and I do
Yeah.
yeah, I do my 2 mile walk, every other morning, now because it's cold out there. In the summertime I'm out there every day, but
Hmm.
I had to take the day off because I was hanging up Christmas lights, so that's what slowed me down.
Uh-huh.
And so you do that to loosen up, and then normally I'd go swimming, but I just didn't feel like doing it that morning because we were kind of pressed for time. The next thing
Sure.
we went to was we had a little time off to breakfast, so we went to breakfast, and then that's when I sat with Kelly Scarborough on this side, and then
Okay.
I
And you
forgot.
knew her between JJ and Kelly, you knew who they were.
Yes, I
You
did. Yes, I
recognized
did.
them? Yeah. Okay. You recognized them. All right.
And Kelly is a little bit more vivacious and a little bit more active in real
Uh-huh.
life. So there's a difference
Well, it's
between
hard when you're sitting in a chair, Craig. You can't do too much.
right.
No.
Yeah, you can't do much, but when she's in real life, she's a little bit more.
Uh,
She
yeah.
amps it up a bit more. So
She amps it up. She does.
so
Yeah.
she's a little bit more quicker on the draw too. So and then you don't have a delay either. So that's how she
True.
is. And then Mary Weatherhead was sitting across from me. She gave me a big hug because we had seen each other with Jen's World. We had been to a seminar
Oh,
up in
that's right. That's right. You did meet some folks. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
a few folks up there, and we talked a little bit, and she wasn't so stressed anymore. Thank God.
Good.
I thought she was really stressed the last time I saw her, and this time she didn't have any stresses. She was happy to be living in New Mexico. She
Good.
said,
Good.
and I go,
Yeah.
well, I've been living here for 30 years. So I'm happy, so no
I love New
no.
Mexico. I really do. I do.
Mhm,
I think it's
mhm,
wonderful. Hmm.
mhm. The desert and the warmth I can put up with, and then the night
Hmm.
sky too. So
Hmm.
all that I love, and it feels like home to me. So
Sure.
we talked a little bit, and then it was an all you can eat type breakfast, whatever you wanted. So you go up there and just every I'm thinking all these ladies on the channels are like talking about health foods, yoga, all this stuff like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
Kimchi, and tofu, you know. And I go up there, nah, I'm gonna go up there and eat like the Marines do. I'm gonna eat all this, you know, beans and
Right.
everything I want to eat. So I loaded up my plate, and then they did too. They did too. And then Kelly Scarborough must have had like 3-4 cups of coffee. So I
Oh
might as
boy.
we all don't give her any coffee. Don't.
Uh-huh.
But we're all eating and having a good time and eating, and then all of a sudden, I guess Clara was there and watching, and then Kelly Scarborough said she absorbed too much of Clara's energy, and it kind of got her a little. It
Mhm.
threw her off. She had to go lie down for a
Between
while.
that and the coffee, I'm sure. Carolyn Booker wants you to know Clara's moving around your room, trying to get in front of the camera. She's even twirling around, leaning on the wall, and draping herself on the back of the couch.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Um,
Yes. Oh my God. That's so
there's
awesome.
there's something I got to tell you. I got to tell you something. I can tell you it off camera, Allie, but I'm not. I'll wait till we're off camera to tell you. But
Oh,
there's something
okay.
that happened the other day. But
Okay.
yeah, so if you guys see something, let me know. I'm still developing this, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
And
Carolyn can see she can see all that energy.
mhm.
And Book says, have you seen Kevin's video? Glorious, but I've never seen them and I want to hear the. Oh, so did you see any aliens? Did you get any, about going back to that, did you catch any
I
pictures of
caught
any
no,
aliens?
I caught it on my phone.
Oh, you
The
did? Okay.
Yeah, so I have an iPad and I also have an iPhone, and then I'm
Okay.
using all the I formatted computers and stuff like that at the house.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
but but with the phone, it's a 15, so it picks up the pictures better.
it
On the
does. Yeah.
iPad, it's an older iPad, but it
Okay.
doesn't pick up the pictures that good. So I have to set
Yeah.
that aside and use my phone. And so
Uh-huh.
there, yeah, I got some pictures because when Kevin was oohing and ahhing, I could hear him on my phone. So yeah, he's on my phone.
Uh-huh.
And then we went from breakfast after she had been overcome. She went back to her room to lie down for a little while, and I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So she had been overcome for a little bit, and that's when I found out how lousy the internet was. I was texting her. I was trying to get a hold of her. Are you all right? Are you all right? And then I get the
Uh-huh.
text like 6 hours later saying I'm fine. So that's how
Yeah.
bad the internet is over there.
Yeah, I
So
know. Same was in Sedona when I stayed there. Anyway, we get back to so you met for breakfast, Kelly went back, and then when did you start going to the like the class that you went to that
class
day?
was
Was
right
it
after breakfast at 10
right
o'clock.
after
We get
breakfast?
back up there.
Okay.
And the first class was with Andrea. Andrea
Okay.
had us all in a circle, and we
Yeah.
had these plastic chairs, just like back in elementary school. And Andrea's in the front with the teacher, and she's making us all comfortable. And she's sitting there with her shoes off. And she goes, "I ground better like this." And then I go, "Okay." And then she goes,
Mhm.
and then she didn't have her coat on or anything, but she and Kevin are from Canada. They're used to the
Yeah,
cold.
yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely.
This is nothing to them. So,
Uh-huh.
I'm freezing. So I'm all still covered up and all that. And
Uh-huh.
then they did their thing, and then we did like what level you're at. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but when they got to me, I asked them, "All right, Andrea, what's my level?" And she goes, "You're level 5." And I go,
Oh,
"Okay." You know, as far
yeah.
as I guess you're ranking
Spiritual growth. Yeah.
spiritual growth. And
Mhm.
they're on the other side. And I go, "What was my mom?" And she goes, "She was 6." I go,
Oh,
"Yeah, I
okay.
knew my mom always had something on me." So.
Sure.
So as we work our way around, we're finding out each other's levels and stuff like that. And this one lady
Yeah.
was a 4, so I didn't feel too bad. And this other lady was like a 7. And then when they
Oh.
got to Utah, she was like a 9.
Oh, yeah. I would well, with the light language, I would think she would
Oh
be.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was like off
Yeah.
the scales.
Yeah.
So I go,
Absolutely.
wow. So they went through the
Yeah.
whole thing, and then she put us in tune with all our chakras. She said, you
Good.
know,
Yeah.
the light coming in, bubble of protection.
Mhm.
Here, here, and all the chakras, they line
Yep.
up. And she comes around us, Andrea, she goes, "I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder for a little while, and I'm gonna check with my pendulum to make sure you're in line."
Uh-huh.
So as she's
Okay.
doing this, everybody's in line, and she goes, "Everybody join hands, and we'll see if we're in line." And then the
Uh-huh.
pendulum spun, but slowly. He goes, "Okay, we can try better than this." So she went to each one of us to make sure we were all in tune. It's like, making sure we're all okay. So she comes to me and puts her hand on me, and she goes, "Just picture your feet going into the ground a little bit more like roots." And I go, "Okay, okay, all right." And I do it, and then the pendulum started spinning. I go, "Wow, okay." So as I'm coming around, and she's coming around and doing this, as we're coming around and doing this, and I'm feeling a cold chill on my side. That's what's going on too with me.
Uh-huh.
And as
Okay.
we're doing this, she's doing that, and she says, we're all linked in, and you're going to be like that for the rest of your life. You'll just know how to
Uh-huh.
call on from now on. Trust it." And
Uh-huh.
then right before that, um, Andrea came up to me and she says, "I was told to give you this, and it's tiger's eye." She
Oh,
goes, "That,"
cool.
she goes, "that will
Yeah.
link you in with the higher realm." And she
Yeah.
goes, "Clara told me to give that to you." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Did she contact all you guys?" And she goes, "Oh my God, she came in here like the day before when we were all showing up. That's when she came in. She and Kim and
It could be
Debbie and
more than one place at a time. There you go.
yeah. She was in
Uh-huh.
all those places, talking to all of them. So and then when I got to Kim, she saw me. She saw my name tag, and then she came up to me, and then we started talking. And then she goes, Kim, go. I walked up to Kim, and I didn't know what to say. First thing I think I said to Andrea was, I didn't know what to say to her. And I know they speak English in Canada, but I'm fumbling over my words, and I don't know what to say to her. So,
Uh-huh.
Andrea, can I have your autograph? And then she started laughing. She thought that was funny. I go, I can
It is
try.
funny.
I didn't know what to say to her. So,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
I think I said to Linda G when I saw her, "I got my eye on you." I said that to her. She started laughing. She thought that was funny. And she goes, "Did you see
Mhm.
my eye?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I thought that was hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And you got to hear the story behind that. You got to hear it. You got to hear it. It's hilarious. And then when Andrea gave that to me, she told me that's what it was for, and we'll talk more about it as the
Mhm.
couple days go by.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
unfortunately, that didn't happen the next day. But what had happened was Kim got to me, and the next I talked with Kim, and she goes, I said to Kim, I go, you know everything already, don't you? And she goes, yes, I do. I go, I know a lot. She goes like that. So
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
well, you're Clara's favorite, so that's why she comes to you a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And then she has her favorites. She likes you. She likes Debbie. She likes
Mhm.
Allie. She likes Belu. I'm
Uh-huh.
glad. I'm glad she likes me, you know. And I
Yeah.
am.
We don't
And
want to cross Clara. We'll never cross Clara.
I don't.
No.
I don't. She's got a mean
That's
right
right.
cross. But
Uh-huh.
anyway, she likes certain people, and there's some readers she doesn't like, you know. But you know,
Mhm.
those will go nameless right now because we're on live, and for
Right.
reasons, you know, for
Yeah.
just being nice, you know.
Sometimes we just don't resonate with somebody. That's all. Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
And when she doesn't resonate with them, she says, "Stay away from them. They don't have your
Mhm.
best
Well,
in."
yeah, that's nice to have somebody that has your back, honestly. Yeah.
And one reader in particular, you know, I'm not going to mention a name here, but she said, "I go, Clara, what do you think of this lady here? You know, it's a lady," and she goes like this.
Uh-oh.
I go, "Oh, okay, all right then,
Oh,
answer
dear.
that. You know, all
See, I
right."
don't want to be on her bad side because I don't want
No, I
the
said,
flying
"Oh,
finger of
oh,
fate. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's what that is." You know? And the one finger salute. And I just started
Uh-huh.
laughing at her, and I go, "Well, you know, I'll tune into her for the politics.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't go on that channel anymore, you know."
Okay.
So she is particular, you know, and
Yep.
there's readers she likes, and there, you know, there's no reason to do that to her, you know, and
Mhm.
but you know, I'll always be on Clara's side anyway. So if she tells me
Oh, yeah.
something, I'll generally do it. So we got
Yep.
to the next class, and that was Kevin.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh, it's Debbie. Okay.
Deb, Debbie Freebird, and she walked by me as we were coming in. It was coming up on about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Right, we had
Uh-huh.
lunch we went to, and then we came back down. They had the same conference room area where we met the first night. They had that set up
Uh-huh.
with sandwiches and
Oh.
stuff like that, potato salad and chips and whatnot. And then they had the Coke fountain open, so we could get Cokes if we wanted that or water. And we also,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was kind of cool. So we went over to the make sandwiches and stuff like that, you know. And I'm looking around for bagels and stuff like this too. You know, hey, bagels, look, that's kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa,
She says, "Hi, Craigie Poo."
cool. I'd like to meet her one day. You know, I envision Lisa as like, you know, taller than 5'9", you know, and just you know, I just that's what I think, you know, when I see her, you know.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Oh,
You can't tell
everybody
height.
thinks I'm taller than I am. I'm only 5'3". Everyone thought
Yeah,
I was
no,
tall. I don't know what
yeah,
it is. Yeah. Okay.
I'm only like
Okay.
5'9", so you know. But
Yeah.
when we got there, Debbie walked past me and she goes, we started talking a little bit, and I said, you were nice enough to bring James Garner through one time for me. And I remember him; he was a big liberal Democrat, and he says everything is going to get eventually get better in America. He goes, everything is eventually going to get better. He goes, it'll
Uh-huh.
take a. They're weeding
Yeah.
people out. That's what they're
Yep.
doing, and
Yep.
uh, and Jim was busy because he had just gotten there, and he
Mhm.
said busy flirting with Debbie. I thought that was kind of funny.
Sure, she's so beautiful. She is.
Uh,
Her hair is so beautiful, long and
uh,
lovely. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's what was going on there, and
Uh-huh.
but you know, she brought back a few people and stuff like that. So we went into Debbie's room, and she put us on the same chairs again. We were all sitting there, and she goes, "I'm gonna divide it right in half right now. These people will come up on this side, and then these people will come up." I don't know why something's telling me to do that.
Mhm.
I picked like
Mhm.
second or third, I forgot what it was, and I went up there, and I sat in front of Debbie, and she's in front of me, and then Debbie goes like this. She reaches out and she puts her hand right on my heart, right here,
Mhm.
and then
Hmm.
she's doing like a silent prayer, and she's
Mhm.
taking, I don't know, she's drawing energy, and as
Mhm.
she's doing this, it's like something like on Star Trek, like when Mr. Spock does that mind thing, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
She put
Yeah.
her hand right there on me, and she started drawing out pain,
Oh, wow.
and all of a sudden,
Hmm.
I felt like something's getting moved in me real quick, you know, like there's a
Yeah.
space there. All of a sudden, there's a
Wow.
hole there, and I
Mhm.
felt like something was getting sucked out of me slowly.
Mhm.
It's kind of a feeling like when my uncle takes something out of you at the reservation, you know, something
Right.
bad,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
felt like that, but this was a little bit different.
Okay.
And as she drew it out, I could. She goes, that is depression, and that's not really depression, but that's like a grief leaving you right now. And I knew what the
Uh,
grief was related to, because it was my mom's death.
sure.
And then it was
Sure.
also going up to Forest Lawn and seeing Clara's marker. It,
Right.
it got me later on,
Sure.
that the magnitude that she was dead. So
Right.
that those both those things had got me, and just the cumulative stuff of my father, my grandfather, and all of them not being here.
Oh
So
yeah.
as she started drawing it out, all of a sudden it felt empty, like there was a hole there all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden she put her other hand there, and then it started filling back up again. This time it started like
Warm.
waking me back up. It was
Yeah.
warm. It was warm, and it started filling me
Yeah.
back up. I go, oh my God, is this real?
Cool.
And it started
Yeah.
giving me shivers. And as
I
I'm
love what
trying,
Wayne says. A heart meld.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I started
Yeah.
tearing up. I didn't
Uh-huh.
cry like, but I started tearing up.
Tears. Yeah.
Tears
Yeah.
started coming out.
It moved you. Yeah.
It
Hmm.
did. And I go,
Yeah.
this has to be real. This has to be real. I thought, and then
Yep.
I came down from it, and then I asked Debbie. Goes, do you have any questions? And I go, all this time that I've known Clara in my life, it's been for about 35 years, 38 years now. She came
Hmm.
to me sick in the military hospital a long time ago, and just took care of me ever
Yes.
since, and until today. I go, I know in her time when she was alive on her last incarnation, I know she was psychic. Is that true? And Debbie goes,
Oh.
asking her right now, and she goes, yes, yes, she was. But she
Uh-huh.
was so overwhelmed by it, it manifested itself as schizophrenia.
Sure.
So she
Well,
had
people wouldn't have believed her anyway then. They would have
right,
said it was schizophrenia. Yeah.
so
No.
she had to tamp it down in order to
Sure.
cope with life
Yeah.
and work. So
I
as she
I
moved
get
away
it.
from her career, about 10 years later, friends from Hollywood would come up to her, and they would ask her questions like, is this in my best interest? And she would be able to answer their questions in their best interest for them and help them out with their careers. So she was like the answer great,
Hmm.
kind of like doing readings before we could do readings like we do it now. So
Right.
so
Right.
yes, psychic,
Yep.
So that answered that
Hmm.
question. And I go, I always thought so. And then Debbie goes, go in the
Hmm.
next room, get Kevin's healing. So I got up
Yes.
and I went outside, and then everybody got their thing done, and we got in line. As we got into the
Hmm.
line to Kevin's, it was starting in about 15 minutes, so I had enough time to go run to the restroom and come back out. This is all a classway and a hall room above the meeting area where we were at in the hotel. So I peeked in there, and it was darkened,
Hmm.
and it was like a doctor's bed there, like a doctor's exam bed there. It's probably like, maybe 4 feet off the ground, maybe 3 feet off the ground.
Hmm.
It has a pillow on there. It has a sheet and a blanket, and there's no stirrups on it, so you don't have to worry about that. There's nothing like that on there, but
Well,
it
thank
looks like,
God.
yeah, there's nothing like that on there. There's no place to be tied down. And then the
Okay.
lights are dim, and there's some chairs in there. So I'm sitting in the chair, and he tells me it's ready. So I go over there. He goes, "Go ahead and take your shoes off." So I take my shoes off, and I lie back on this thing, and I'm lying like this. And he goes, "Oh, hey, go ahead and put your hands like this, and cross your legs, and just get comfortable."
Yeah.
And I do.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, and then there's some music playing. There's some music playing in there,
Oh, nice.
and Debbie
Yeah.
Debbie comes in too. And
Uh-huh.
as they're coming in, they're syncing together, and the music's playing. And then I look over at Debbie and Kevin. They're standing at my side right here, and I go, "You know what? Soylent Green is made of people." They started laughing. That was kind of funny. And I go, they started to, okay, all right, you've been watching too many movies. So
Oh, yes. Too many TV shows. Yes.
they're running their
Hmm.
hands over me, and they're going through me. They're doing like an inventory, and as they're
Uh-huh.
doing it, they're drawing things out. Kevin went up to my
Yeah.
heart area where Debbie had just done that meld,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he started closing the wound. That's how it felt. It felt like he was
Wow.
he was the surgeon
Okay.
closing the wound.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Debbie
Wow.
felt like the one that took it out, and Kevin felt like the one that was closing it and healing it. And I go,
Uh-huh.
oh my God. And then when they got down to like my legs and my feet, I could feel my circulation in there. I could feel warmth and tingling. When they got to my feet, they just went through it. They actually, you know, they're like massaging on your feet and coming up your legs. As they come up to your head, they're just like inches away, going like this, doing what they're needing to do. And then Kevin
Mm-hmm.
whispered in my ear, "Your dad is so proud of you. Your dad is so."
Oh.
And he goes, "And your guy, Clara, and your mom is here too."
Oh.
So I go,
Oh,
"Okay,
nice. Yeah.
okay." And I'm looking up, and then the music's real soft in there, and then they
Mm-hmm.
do it a little bit longer, and then you feel so relaxed, and then it's time to come out of it.
Yeah.
So, and then we come out of there, and then we go back downstairs and eat again.
That's what they
And
did in Sedona. It was always time to go eat.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
and then they left that little conference room open with the lunches and stuff like that, so you could go
Mm-hmm.
back in there and make you something,
Yeah.
if you wanted a sandwich or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking around for lox and cheese because I want my bagel.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
I don't see any, so that's just
Right.
the place it was.
So
So
when did it was a phone call that you got, or was it a text that you got? When
it
did that
was
happen? After this?
it was a text and then a phone call.
Okay. And that was after this thing with Kevin, was
Yeah,
it?
it
Yeah.
was after and just before we were about to go to dinner. So
Okay.
I got back to the hotel room. I hadn't checked my messages because the internet was so slow.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I got back, and they go, we'll all meet for dinner at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So Clara's going, dress for dinner. So okay. So I go back to the hotel, shower, get cleaned up, and all this stuff like that. And I
Uh-huh.
take my sport coat, my tie, my white shirt. It's all pressed, and I put all this stuff together. And getting ready,
Uh-huh.
and I put my overcoat on, and then I go down. I'm about to go downstairs, and I see the text come up again, and I call this number, and he says, "We got some terrible news for you. You need to get into Albuquerque right now to sort out some problems that your son-in-law and your daughter are suffering right now." And I go, "What is this?" And I go, "Oh man,"
Yeah.
and I'm shocked. I'm taken aback
Sure.
by it. I
Sure.
don't know
You're
what
upset. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
upset. So I'm trying to call my daughter, and the phone don't work.
Uh-huh.
So I go outside to work and get some signal. I'm picking up some signal, and I call in, and I'm trying to get hold of my daughter. You know what? I got back. I found out they changed her phones.
God.
They upgraded their
So,
phones.
I mean, there was no way for you to find out,
Nobody
really,
to meet
if
at
it was
my
true or
house. It
not.
was
Right.
get through it.
Okay.
I just
Yes.
wring my meathead son-in-law's head for doing that. But but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. I get it.
So as I'm trying to get through there, I can't. I tried calling my attorney, but I couldn't because I didn't have
Yeah. You
his
don't have
home.
his home phone either. Yeah.
I didn't have it
Hmm.
yet. I couldn't get a hold of Mark and Teresa. That's his wife's name. Teresa's was his wife was my mom's attorney,
Okay.
and he was
Yeah.
my attorney. So, and through them we got like what is it, private detectives and people like that. We can fight for help and whatnot.
Okay.
So
Yep.
all these people are at the pool, and I can't get a hold of them. So I don't know what to
Hmm.
do. So I go, the only thing I can do. So I'm the dad. I feel obligated. So I start packing up. So I start packing everything up, and I put everything back into the bags. I take everything back down. I start putting it back into the car. Oh, I'm mad. I'm angry. I go, what am I going to do about this? You got to get into town because your son-in-law apparently got thrown in jail, and he needs to be bailed out. And he needs this, and he needs, and
Right.
your
Right.
daughter had an accident. They're making it sound worse than it is, and I
Right.
can't get hold of him. And I'm
And you don't even know who it is that's talking to you? Is it a man? Is it a
it's
woman?
a man that identifies himself as a state police officer.
Oh, God. Okay.
So I don't know. I tried calling back the number, but the phone wouldn't work because of the internet. You get
Yeah.
spotty coverage and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're out in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going back through the native the Navajo Nation again.
Yeah.
So I load up everything back into the car. I double check the room again, make sure I don't leave anything in there. I take everything that they gave me, and I wrote. And as I'm coming out, I have a note for Kim. And me and Kim had talked. Luckily, we had talked that night before, like maybe a good 15
Yep.
minutes, about different
Yep.
things. And then when she found out, she was very upset. She goes, "Oh, I wish I'd stayed. I wish I wanted to talk to you more." And I go, "There'll be a next time. I can feel it in my bones. There'll be a next time."
Hmm.
But I was really upset and hacked about that. So when I got downstairs and I started getting back into the car, a couple of ladies I was in class with stopped by and they asked me, what's going on? And I told them I got to get back to town. I got to get back to Albuquerque. Something bad happened and I got to leave. And I
Right.
got to.
But the
I
next
don't know.
day was the next day would have been a whole day worth of conference if you had stayed. Is
Right,
that right?
right,
Okay. Okay.
right. So,
Yeah.
so I left. I said, please tell Kim, please tell Debbie that I got to go. Something came
Hmm.
up and I got
Hmm.
to go.
Yep.
You know, and I don't mean to leave, but it's kind of like life threatening,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I loaded everything up and got left there about 5:30 in the evening. The next, and Google Maps, they lie to you. It says it's only 6.5 hours back to Albuquerque.
Mm.
It's 9.5 hours.
Sure.
So as I'm going through this way, I'm getting back and I'm tired. I'm upset. I'm angry. And I go, Clara, just get me home. Just get me home.
Yeah.
And I was going to stop at my uncle's house and rest.
I wish you
Had I
had now.
I
Yeah.
wish I
Yeah.
had. I should have stopped there. Then I could have verified it. Then
Hmm.
just came back the next day. But no, no, you don't think like that, and you're
You don't
worried.
know.
You don't think like that. You're just in a rush. So I get
You
back to
are.
New Mexico. I'm falling asleep in that last 60 miles. I
Sure.
can't. I'm starting to do this, and the speed bumps and stuff like that. The dotted lines keeping me awake, And I get up and walk around. I've done that trick about 15, 20 times already, and it's not working anymore. So I got back into town. Wouldn't you know
Yeah.
it, when you get back into town and get back into your own bed, you can't sleep?
Oh, yes, I know. I do. You're so tired. It's almost like you're too tired to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
get.
you
Yeah.
just you rest for a couple hours, and then when everything comes to life, I get that character again. And then he says, what you need to do is, I'm glad you contacted me because I was about to contact you again. He goes,
Oh,
now come down to this ATM machine here. And I'm going, yeah. And he goes,
yeah.
and then he says, come down to this ATM machine, and there's three of them here in Albuquerque. You need to go up to this one and deposit the money into it. And I'm going, why do I got to do this? And he goes, yeah, $1,500 will get your son out of jail.
Oh, yeah. I bet it will. Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
now I'm beginning to understand. And I go, all right. And I go, thank you for a little while. And I go, there's a lot of ways to answer this.
Hmm.
So I said, you know what? I'm standing right in front of the ATM machine right now, and I wasn't. I was at home,
Right.
and I jerking his chain. And I told him, you know what? It took me a long time to get here. The first one was closed down, so we're at the second one now. I'm leading him on too,
Sure.
and then I'm just pushing it, making it sound good that I'm driving there to get to the next one, and you go, and then I finally tell him that you know what, you're so good at this, guy. Maybe you should take some acting classes because you're pretty good. You're actually
Yeah.
pretty good. But you
Yeah.
didn't really get me because but I know a guy that can help you out.
Yeah.
He can really
Yeah.
help you out. And
Hmm.
his name is Harvey Weinstein, but he's in prison right now. When he gets out, I'm pretty sure he can hook you up into acting classes and get you to jail.
Really.
So you don't
Yeah.
have to do this no more. And I hung up
Yeah.
on him. And I go,
Yeah.
son of a bitch, if I only knew this yesterday. And I go,
Yeah.
there's nothing I could do about it because I'm
No,
already back.
there wasn't.
And if
Yeah.
I got back on my fastest horse or grabbed the quickest plane, I would have been back at 1:30 in the afternoon. So what
Yeah.
good would it have done me?
Coyote Rosenbaum says you go directly into panic mode when you hear anything about your babies, and your children will always be your babies. So it's understandable. And we've all had different things happen to us that have been scams. But the timing of this
Yeah,
is what upsets me the most, because here you've driven all the way up there and done everything that you could. You've paid for the hotel, you've paid for the conference and all that. And then you have to turn around and go home before it's over, and it's a lie.
yeah.
It's
The good thing that came out of it was, nobody got hurt. No
right.
animals got injured.
You didn't lose any money.
I didn't lose
Well,
any.
More money. Yeah. You
I
didn't
didn't lose
lose more
more
money.
money than I could have, and
Yeah. Yeah.
driving in that little car being bumped around on a Japanese skateboard, you know, I mean, what did I spend? $60 on gas? That's nothing, you know,
Yeah.
it's
I
nothing.
know.
Nice,
I
enjoyable ride.
know, but it just you would everybody here would feel the same way. You go to this thing and the anticipation, you've prepared for it, you've done everything you need to do,
Hmm.
and you get there and you're enjoying it and you're feeling the love, you're feeling the healing and all that. And then to get your chain jerked like that, come back
Yeah,
home. And of course you believe it. It's your daughter and you
it's
want
your dog,
don't
it's your blood.
yeah,
You begin to wonder what's going on
sure.
here, and
Yep.
it took care of itself in the end, And I listened to
Yes.
one of those readings that Cash Peters did, and he says that, you know what, you're going to feel like you missed the bus. You're going to this month. You're really toward the end of the year. You're going to feel like you missed the bus or you missed out on something.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
goes, what happening is Spirit is telling me you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You know.
Yep. And
You're-
Wayne's right. It could have been a real emergency, and
yeah,
thankfully it wasn't. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. We
After
have to
after
look at the gratitude side of it. Yeah,
yeah, so
absolutely.
I looked at the phone with him. I called back my attorney, and then I got a hold of him this time, and I told him what happened. He goes, "Oh no, you know what? Nothing's going on. It's all okay." He goes, "It's a scam." He goes, "Here's my personal home phone number. Call me if
Yeah.
something like that happens again."
Yeah.
He goes, "And we'll get to the bottom
Well,
of it." And I'm
yeah.
glad you didn't give him any more money. And I
Yeah.
go, "No, no." So I was upset. So I
Sure
said
you
before,
were. Yeah.
yeah, before I
Yeah.
went to bed, before I went to bed, I said, "Clara, I know you love
Mhm.
that place. I know you love the girls and Debbie and Kim and all them. Go back
Mhm.
up there. I trust you and I love you. Just watch me
Uh-huh.
go to sleep. After I'm asleep, then go up there and
Uh-huh.
have a good time with
Go
them.
up there and have some fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have some fun. You need to get away from this
Yeah.
old man for a little while.
Yep.
And then when you feel good, come back again. I'll be still here. I will. I'm not going anywhere. I got a
Mhm.
30-year mortgage. I'll be here.
Sure.
So she went back up there, and I'm pretty sure she had a good time. And
Yeah.
when I was up there, I showed this picture to. It's another picture actually. This one is
Yes.
great,
Uh-huh.
but this picture
Okay.
right here is also in a 2x3 poster in my room.
Poster, you say. Yeah.
It's a
Yep.
poster.
Yep.
So if I touch her shoulder right here, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
If I touch
Mm-hmm.
her wrist right here, it's hot by her hip. If I touch her other wrist, it's warm, and so is her arm, her forearm.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
feels warm in the picture if I put my hand on it. I asked Debbie, what was that? And Debbie says, that is the beginning. You're starting to opening up more.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it's healing and communication. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. Yep.
So healing and communication, you can use it for one or the other, but
Yep.
that's what it's
And
like. You're moving in that
And
direction.
next time, if you have somebody on the phone, your intuition is going to kick in because that was one of the biggest life lessons that you had to learn. But you
Yeah, I
also
heard.
got the benefit. You got the benefit of some beautiful,
Yeah,
just
I,
beautiful energy. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so. And then had I been able to hear Clara like my cousin does, she would have been telling
right.
scam, scam.
Yeah,
She would have
right.
been. But
Absolutely,
as I
absolutely.
took that, yeah, as I touch that picture, it gets
Hmm.
warm and then it starts getting hot.
Oh,
But my
okay.
aunt came by when she was really questioning things, and she has a lot of questions in her life right now.
Hmm.
So I said, "Do you really question any of this stuff?" And she goes, "Kind of." And I go, "Well, come here." And I took her to that same poster and I said, "Put your hand right here." And I let her touch the shoulder. She goes, "I don't feel nothing there." And the other arm, I don't feel nothing there. When she got down to the wrist, she goes, "I feel a heartbeat." She goes,
Oh,
"I feel
wow,
a She goes, "I feel a pulse."
wow.
So I guess
That's
it's a
good.
little bit different
Yeah,
with everybody.
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it just shocked me. So
Uh-huh. Well, we're
uh,
sitting at an hour here, but Amanda had a question for you that I thought we'd sort of end up here. She said, "Did you enjoy the beautiful rocks? Did you get any messages from any of them at all, or did you even get to bring some home? The little ones? I don't know."
well, a national park, you're not supposed to do that.
That's
You know,
true. That's
yeah, you're
true.
not supposed to do that, but people do it anyway. So if
Uh-huh.
you're going to do that, bring it in your memory and stuff like that. But what really called to me was,
Yeah.
get out and spend some time with us. Play for a little while,
Yes.
and then put
Yep.
your back up against it. Take it all in, ground yourself to
Yes.
it.
Yes.
That's what was
It
calling
is
to me.
alive. It has. Yeah. It does. It has energy. Absolutely.
Everything
Yeah.
in the native way is alive, even some inanimate objects too, like a car. I mean,
Uh-huh.
because it takes air, it takes water, it takes fuel, and those produce
Yes.
like fire, to run,
Yep.
so the way
Yep.
things inanimate are also alive,
Absolutely.
and
Everything
intuitively you
has
can.
a lesson for us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
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 yeah.
yes, that's what was happening. It also told me something like come back again, come back
Yep.
again.
Yep.
It said
You need to
it,
spend more time around these beautiful rocks in your area, or um, further away. They're just so gorgeous, and they do have transformative capabilities, I think. And it's just, even if it's just that you're understanding the majesty, it's like nature's painting. All the different colors and all the different things that are right around them. Yeah.
also in there in the where they had the conference at the main conference room. Also
Hmm.
along the walls there are a bunch of paintings for sale of the
Oh,
hoodoo. Yeah,
okay.
that
Yeah.
starving artist, and these
Yeah.
are good quality paintings.
Beautiful pictures. Yeah.
Had not this happened, I would have said, Clara, pick one out and tell Kim which one you want.
Right.
And put it,
Yeah.
hang it in
Yeah.
the house somewhere. I'll find a place for it. Put it in the
Sure.
office or something. But
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
asked her, what did you think of it? And she goes, she showed up here like a day earlier. She interacted with all of
Yep.
us. And on my phone, Kim said she left me a picture of herself.
Oh,
She was able to
well,
manifest a picture on there. She's saying,
okay.
Craig, you have that picture. If you look at it carefully enough, you'll be able to tell which one of pictures of yours it is. And I said, okay.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So a lot of things like that happened.
Yeah.
She goes,
Magical.
she
Yeah.
goes, very active. She's very strong. She'll be by your side the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
We know that, Craig.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life you do get the girl. You know,
Sometimes you do. It's just not in the way you expect, always,
not
right?
the
Yeah.
way you expect. Yeah.
Well, this is actually, this is a beautiful Thanksgiving story. It wasn't planned to be for that particular reason, but just the whole thing was beautifully explained, and we shared it. The people got chills. People thought it was great. They loved hearing about it, Craig. And so I love having you on the show, and I'm so glad that you and I were able to do this. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
When if I do readings, I'll let you know. You know,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
you
And
and
you will eventually. You will eventually, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Anyway.
depends on how Clara feels about the audience.
Yeah, I get it.
But she's
I get it.
very protective. She doesn't want me being beat up.
Nope. She's smart. She's smart. Well,
Mm.
everybody, thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening to Craig's story. And
Oh,
I'll be seeing you. Happy Thanksgiving. Absolutely. And yes, look forward to going to conferences and to meet everybody in the real flesh. It's really, really wonderful to be able to do that. So,
Debbie,
uh,
Kim, a cheaper place next time. I
yeah,
don't care if it's the park, just a cheaper
yeah,
place.
yeah. I get it. I get it. Anyway, everybody, much love to you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll be back on Friday with a show, but I'm going to take a couple of days off. So thanks for being with us tonight. Much love to you all. And I wonder why Craig didn't show up in the moderator's seat tonight. But anyway, next time, right?
Next,
Next time. Thank you, Craig. Much love to
hang.
you.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye bye.